Animal Man number 20, written by Jeff Lemire, art by John Paul Leone, and following up at the end with Timothy Green II. So, if you remember like 10 plus issues ago, we had a little side issue where it was a movie that Buddy Baker starred in called Tights. And it got cut off in the middle. This is continuing the movie. It's saying, where did we go from there? Where the movie ended with Buddy's character Chaz is a quote-unquote superhero, no superpowers, that goes out and fights as Red Thunder, and he gets the crap kicked out of him and wakes up in the hospital. So we see the TiVo picking up the story here. Chaz is getting out of the hospital. He's got his Red Thunder outfit all cut up because they had to cut it off him in order to get out of it. He thinks there's no way he's going to be able to pay for his medical bills. Turns out that his wife already paid for it. And speak of the devil, the ex-wife and son come into the hospital room, and he's like, hey, you didn't have to pay for that. And she's like, how in the hell were you going to pay for it? And besides, I'm not the one who paid for it. It's my new husband, Dave. And it's just like, oh, Dave, great. That's the last thing I needed. And he starts arguing with his ex-wife in front of their kid. The ex-wife tells him, stop, the kid's here. And he tells him, like, oh, yeah, how about you and I, let's get out of here. Drop me back off at home. And they arrive back at his apartment. It's a wreck. And he asks his wife if he can keep the kid just for, like, a little extra time outside of normal custody stuff because he wants to spend some time with him after everything. And the kid is like, actually, Dad, I got homework. I gotta go home. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. But at that moment, in through the door busts this talent agent. And he says, hey, are you Chaz? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, your video of you storming in and, like, beating up those guys has gotten 12 million hits on our universe's equivalent of YouTube. You're like a minor celebrity right now. If you're not represented by anybody, I want to cash in on this. I'm going to help you get to actual stardom. And he's like, I don't know. I'm just a guy. I don't do this for fame. I do it because it's the right thing to do. And he's like, right. I get it. But, like, you could make some serious money out of this. And looking around, kind of seems like you need it. And he passes off his card and leaves. And the wife is like, so you're going to do it, right? Because you desperately need the money. And he's like, I just want to be like a hero for hero's sake. I don't want to do it for the wrong reasons. And he's like, Chaz, grow up, man. That's too much. So they both leave. And Chaz is left by himself, and he pulls out the card and makes the call. So then we cut to a montage of him going on the late night circuits and talking with different hosts about, like, oh yeah, I was just doing what I felt was right, but it's all this stuff. And then slowly he starts, like, dating different celebrities and starlets and stuff like that. He's showing up at premieres. He gets onto a Bachelor-style TV show called I Want to Marry a Real Life Superhero, and he's doing, like, product placements for shaving brands and whatnot. So some time has passed. He's actually managed to get to a pretty good place star-wise. He meets up with his wife again at some random Hollywood party because her husband is one of those, like, networking types. So she's just there by being the plus one. And they reconnect and they're talking. And Paige, the wife, is like, yeah, you've come a long way. I really didn't expect this of you. And I'm really proud of you that you've done all this stuff. And, it's you. And he's like, I didn't want it. I wanted to still be a superhero. That's who I still am underneath. I just wanted to do something right, And she's like, no, I get it. That's the reason I fell in love with you to begin with. And he misreads the signals, goes in for a kiss. Obviously, she wasn't feeling that. And she's like, okay, well, I just came out because you were alone out here. Goodbye. She leaves. So he leaves the party soon afterwards, and he's passing by this pool where this man is forcing himself on a woman. And he, being the good hero he is, jumps in and says, hey, get off her. And he's like, do you know who I am? And besides, who the hell are you? And he rips open his shirt and shows, I'm Red Thunder. Turns out, though, this dude was a high-ranking exec, and he then sues and blacklists Chaz because of, he's a high-ranking exec, and he is just able to do that stuff. So at that point, the agent calls him up and says, what in the hell were you even thinking? You're not a hero. You were a star before you just threw that all away, and now you have nothing. I'm not your agent anymore. You're done in this town. And Chaz is like, hey, I can still be the hero. I can still be Red Thunder. I'll always have that. And that's all I ever wanted to begin with. And he's like, oh yeah? You sold the rights to Red Thunder to make your brand. We own Red Thunder, and if you dare put that costume back on, we will sue you into oblivion." And he hangs up on him. So he goes and he sees the photos of like his kid dressed in the Red Thunder gear, and he pulls out his suit and he seemingly puts it on, but he goes out to a bridge and he looks at the photo of his kid one last time, and then all of a sudden cuts to he's been missing for 8 days and nobody knows where he is. He's presumed dead. They have a funeral for him, and we see Paige and his kid go back home, and the kid goes up to his room and hears all this stuff on the news of some mysterious hero rescued people from fires, and he's been spotted, but nobody can ever get a good look at him. And then there's this package waiting inside the kid's room as he sees this stuff on the news. And inside of the package is the Red Thunder costume, along with the picture that Chaz originally had. And seems that that's where the movie ends, because then we cut back to Buddy sitting in his hotel room that looks like it just as much a wreck as Chaz's. He turns off the TV, looks at a photo of his own son, who had recently died, and all of a sudden the phone rings. And on the other end of the phone, he first thinks it's Ellen, so he answers it that way. Turns out, though, no, it's his talent agent. And his talent agent is like, "Hey, man, you have been impossible to find, but you need to go rent a tux. You've just been nominated by the Academy for Best Actor." So that's where the issue ends. Seems that Buddy is back in at least the public eye for acting reasons rather than superhero stuff. I can't imagine a more traumatic thing going on right now. The fact that his own story of his own dead son and whatnot, and how he lost all of his powers, mirrors so closely to what was going on in the movie. Now he's going to be forced to go out on the circuit grieving like that. It's a good setup. I'm looking forward to seeing how we're moving forward with that. But yeah, no, I mean, Jean Paul Leon's art, fantastic. R.I.P. It looks great. It gives a different vibe when we then cut back into real life. It just has this special stylized feel to it that makes it feel a bit more cinematic. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a solid 8. The only reason I don't go higher is because it is technically just a nothing issue. Like it's a well-told story, but it's not the story of Animal Man. It's a story within the story. So because it's not doing anything earth-shaking, it's just kind of an aside. It's great for what it is, but it's hard to give it a little extra boost because of it.